What is up, survivors? For today's taming episode, we're going to be talking about taming raptors. These pack hunting animals are pretty legit, pretty useful, kind of another staple to the ARK universe as far as what they do and how they work. Pretty common, guys, pretty common. Anybody who knows dinosaurs knows the raptors, but you're going to see these guys in many various shapes and forms throughout the different ARK maps, but we're going to talk about how to tame them and their abilities and such and that. I got a few raptors here, and the reason why is because they are better in a pack. These guys get a pack bonus, so having a group of them together increases their chances of surviving, and the pack alpha does have a slight increase on some of its stats. That little yell that I just did at the intro actually works like a pack buff. It'll buff the whole pack as far as their damage and health for a little while. And it does have a cooldown on it. You'll be able to use it about every minute. I think its cooldowns on it's like a minute. Yeah, see? Yeah, we're already chiming it back up. And they all chime in unison with me, and we all kind of run around and do that. Basically, these guys are really fast. They're like little glass cannons, right? And what I mean by that is they can pump it out, but they can't necessarily take it. They're not known to be able to take a whole lot of damage, but having a pack of these guys makes it worth it. And having these guys on attack my target while I'm riding this one means that if I try to attack something, they're going to get involved. Well, if something attacks me anyway. Let's say, for instance, bite the Stego, right? Stego gets mad, comes after me. He's going to try to swipe me. He's going to do that. Then the rest of the raptors are going to come in here and gang up and take him out. Pretty simple concept, but like I said, having the pack bonus is definitely useful. It also means that you and your buddies can also be riding around these anyway. The leader, as you can see this little fire coming off of it, is the highest level creature within the group of hunting packs. So that's the way it works. 3 or more. You need at least 3 raptors to make a full pack, and you still get mating. You'll still get mate boost as well. So the primary roles of these guys are kind of like quick scouts. They can do a little bit of damage, pretty good in PvP because they're pretty fast. But one of the other cool abilities, and I'm going to find something here to show you. You have a run, you have a jump, which is pretty good. They have a pretty good jump, pretty good leap for what they are. But smaller critters, and of course I can't find one out here. They actually have a pounce ability that will, here we go. Bam! That will mobilize the prey for a certain amount of time, and then you can just straight up kill it. Pins them down, they can't move, they're stuck in place, and they just gotta have to take it. There's not a whole lot they can do about it. Now this only works on some creatures, but pretty much most of the small creatures, and this pounce ability is pretty useful, not only for that, to be able to pin smaller creatures down, but typically, and this is really where they shine, is actually in a PvP environment, or if you're out here on PvE, you've probably seen it happen to you a couple of times, or you're just wandering around minding your own business, and a raptor shows up and knocks you off your mount and pins you. They can do this when they're tamed to other riders, so you can sneak up on some other riders when they're not paying attention, depending on what size mount they're on, and rip them right off of it and take them out. So these guys are definitely more of a cavalry sort of mount. They're going to help you harvest meat early on if you need meat, definitely. You know, these are fairly early tames as far as like carnivores go, but they are super useful. They're super useful. Even later game, honestly, if you get some really good bred raptors together, they can do some cool stuff. Problem is when you guys do, if you see what's going on right here, this is a good lesson to learn with pack animals in general. Always pay attention to where these guys are at, because if they get hung up on something, you'll travel 9 miles down the road and not even realize it. Meanwhile, dummy here is stuck behind a stick. You think they'd be smart enough to get around it? Apparently they're not. So if you have pack animals, make sure you know where these guys are at all times. Anyway, that's pretty much it. They're damage dealers, they're fast, they're scouts, they have the pin ability, they hit the pack bonus, and you get the option to buff your pack up with that cool little yell. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much how these guys work. Taming these guys is another fairly simple-isk sort of task. The biggest problem with taming these guys is that they're usually in packs, so that can make it a little bit difficult, but we'll show you how to do that. Alright, so wild raptors, they're going to see you, they're going to come after you, they're pretty quick. As you can see, we got one down here that's harassing a bunch of dodos. Thankfully, this one's on its own, but this kind of applies to a group of them. If you're fighting a group of them, you could definitely kind of split them up or kill ones off. But essentially, you want to bowl them. Throw a bowl on them, they can't move, and then start hitting them with a tranq rifle. Keep your distance. This one's a lower level, so you kind of pop down for me. Keep your distance from these when they get hit with a bowler, though. You want to bowler this guy, shoot it maybe 2 or 3 times with darts, and then slowly back off. Rearm your bowler But as soon as it breaks, you can hit it with another one and clasp it down again. Now, if you get a couple of tribe mates together, you can totally take down a pack of these, and we could definitely do something like the cages that we used to herded like the Therizino in, the big box with the ramp in it. You would just want to use windows or something like that the Raptor couldn't fit through and possibly get out of. So that's definitely an option too. Just wanted to throw it out. The bolas totally work on these guys. They eat meat like normal carnivores do. They prefer the simple kibble as far as kibbles go. That's pretty straightforward tame, just to knock out, feed meat into them. But definitely whenever they're using the bola strategy, bola, shoot it a couple of times, the bola's going to wear off, have another one prepped and ready to go for as soon as it busts out. That is going to save your butt. There's also a couple different versions of Raptors. There's many varied versions of Raptors between all the different game modes and different platforms, but the commonly ones you're going to see are, as far as tameable ones go, is you're going to see the normal Raptors like we got the guys over here. We just recently got out that really cool skin with the animated Arc series Raptor. It's a skin that you can put on the Raptor to just make it look like this. It's just a costume slot. You can pull it right back off. It looks like a normal Raptor again. Put it back on in the costume slot. That kind of works with any Raptor in general. You have your bionic Raptors, which are basically kind of like tech Raptors. I think that's what they're called. Tech Raptors. Yeah, you'll see these guys in the wild. The cool thing about tech creatures is to remember that their natural level cap is going to be higher than those of normal critters. So if you can get a hold of tech Raptors, and if you like the look of them, these guys are a better route to go because you're probably going to get better stats out of them. We have the aberrant Raptors, and then we also have the X variant of Raptors. These, as far as tameable Raptors go, there's alpha Raptors out there. There's corrupted Raptors as well. There's a huge slew of different versions of these guys, but this is pretty much what we're looking at right here. It's in the general vicinity of what we're looking at here. Other thing to note is if we look at all these Raptors of different shapes and sizes, right? So I, in theory, have one of each one of over here. You're not seeing the fire kick off of these guys because they're different subspecies of Raptors. So if you want the pack bonus, you want to line up the right Raptors. You have all of one type, mixing and matching them won't give you all the pack bonuses that you want to. But the options are pretty cool, and I like having the options because it gives you the opportunity to try different color schemes out and different creatures out. But all in all, that's pretty much it. That's it, guys. That's taming Raptors. I don't feel like they're all eyeballing me like I'm dinner. Makes me a little concerned. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you on the